There's a whole bag of it in here. This would have helped us a lot during the Black Plague. This is amazing. Did you know about this? Printing? Was? Oh. Beautiful.
Oh, hello there. I'm Brian Hyland, and I'm the curator of medieval manuscripts at Museum of the Bible. Have you ever wondered what it was like to live in the Middle Ages before the printing press was invented? Imagine being a scribe and how long it would take you to make a copy of a book. Why am I telling you about this? Why don't you hear it straight from the horse's mouth?
Now, let's begin. So before we can print a page, we have to set up a page of type. Perhaps you don't know what type is, although I've heard that you type on something called a computer. Well, type is one of Herr Gutenberg's original inventions. Now, Herr Gutenberg was a goldsmith, which means he's used to working with very fine metals. He developed a process of making small metal letters, like this, on little metal blocks. You can see here, perhaps. Yes? We would take all of these, and we would line them up together to form a whole page. Now, you can see them there. I have a page that's already been printed. Imagine that you were an apprentice like myself, and you were to think, okay, every letter on the page, every space between the letters, and every punctuation mark is a separate piece of metal type. How many pieces would you guess it would take to make a whole page? I'll give you a moment to think. Now, we call it the 42-line Bible. On average, there's about 60 pieces across per line, which means every page has somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 pieces per page. That's a lot. It can take anywhere from 3 to maybe even 7 hours to set up the page, depending on how fast you move. But once that is done, the hardest part is out of the way. We will then take wooden blocks to hold it in place, make sure that the alignment is perfect. And then you take these things called blotting stamps. Now, they're made of leather. They have wool stuffed inside of them, sheep's hair, and they're set on a wooden base. I've been told that you travelers keep many dogs as pets. This might offend you, but we often use dog skin for our leather because dogs don't sweat. They pant, which means that their skin has less pores in them, or smaller pores. So the skin is very good for holding all of the ink on top so it doesn't seep through. So we would take these, dip them into a bucket of ink, roll them together like this until the ink is nice and spread out, and then we'll use these to roll ink across the top of the type, nice and even until they're all covered. Now, once that is finished, I will take something called a frisket. It's like 2 picture frames put together that can open like a book. And on the inside, we hold the paper nice and taut so that it can make a nice even press. I have some blank paper here. I'll put it on my makeshift press. I don't have access to mine because of this social distancing, but this will have to do. So, on the press, there's something called a casket. It's a box in which all of the metal type pieces are placed. Once we have wedged them in place and we print a page, we can proofread them here, take out a piece, put in a new one, very easy to correct mistakes. We'll take our frisket and lay it over the top of the metal type, like this. Just imagine. Then, the machine itself has something called a platen. It's a wooden block, very similar to this actually, only it's connected to a corkscrew that has a lever. When I turn the lever, the platen goes up and down. Now, in order to make a press, I'll turn the lever all the way to the other side so the platen goes all the way down, makes a nice, firm, even press on the page. Let's see if we can get a good one. Now, it's like a stamp. It presses the paper into the metal type. Now when I bring the lever back, the platen raises up. Then I can slide the box with the type out. And when I remove the paper, if we have a good press, there will be a sound like what we say, a kiss. The kiss of defeat, my friend. And then, there we are. We have a completed page. Fertig, or finished.